What's up, Ravens fans? It's a good week here in Baltimore after the Ravens opened the season with a 47-3 victory over the Buffalo Bills. Everyone's feeling good right now, but the questions are still piling up in the mailbag, so let's go ahead and dive right into them. The first question comes from Moolah Vision, and the question is, will the offense keep the mojo rolling on the road against the Bengals Thursday night?
Yes, I think they will. Look, we've seen this all offseason. It's not like it's a surprise to anybody who's been watching Ravens practice. OTAs, training camp, preseason, and now the regular season opener. The offense has just been rolling. I mean, so I think for the rest of the world, the Sunday opener was kind of, wow, what is this? It was a huge surprise. Where did this Ravens offense come from? But I think that it's here to stay. I think the Ravens offense is legit. Now, granted, I do think the Bengals defense is better than Buffalo's defense. You have Carlos Dunlap, you have Geno Atkins, you have some talented players in that Bengals secondary. But I think the Ravens offense is good enough to still overcome that and perform well on the road against a pretty good D.
Yeah, we've talked all offseason about this. I mean, the passing game to me is the biggest difference, and I think that it looks like it's legit. So let's keep the questions rolling. This one comes to us from Mark Kim, and Mark has a fantasy question here. For fantasy football owners, will Alex Collins get more touches?
He's on my team too. I want to know the answer.
You're curious about this one. Well, he had 7 carries last week for 13 yards, 1 touchdown, which was an 8-yard carry. So it wasn't exactly an explosive day for Alex Collins, really the entire running game. I mean, if you're going to nitpick a 47-3 victory, it's that the running game didn't have a huge day. But I do think Alex Collins will get more carries. I think that he still is the lead back. With that said, based on the way that the Ravens split the carries with Buck Allen and then Kenneth Dixon at the end of the game, I do think that Buck's pretty much going to be your third down back. I also think there's going to be some times near the goal line, like we saw in Sunday's game, where you could have maybe even Buck Allen and Alex Collins on the field together.
He's going to hawk some touchdowns from Alex Collins.
When
we saw him go in, we were like, Alex Collins touchdown, then they give the handoff to Buck. I was like, come on.
I know, you were pretty bummed about that one too, yeah.
But in the end zone, so happy.
Yeah, but in all honesty, I do think that this is something from a fantasy standpoint that could bear watching, because I don't know that if Alex Collins is going to be a guy that gets 20 carries a game. I think that the Ravens really like Buck Allen. We've talked about this all offseason. Everyone looks at the number 1 back, but the Ravens really like Buck Allen. He's going to get his fair share of carries and catches out of the backfield, and then of course Alex has to hold on to the football. Coughed one up on Sunday in a wet game, so he has to make sure he holds on to the football.
Yeah, for sure. Our last question comes from Andrew Skura, and the question is, do you think Matt Skura and James Hurst can hold up against Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap? There's 2 very talented Bengals players. I do think that they're going to have their hands full, but let's not also forget that Marshall Yanda's in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marshall Yanda is going to he's between those 2 guys, Skura and Hurst. So I think that, Yanda has handled Atkins pretty well in years past, and I don't expect that to change. I was pretty happy with the way James Hurst played in week 1. I mean, you look at it, that Alex Collins 8-yard touchdown run, James Hurst had a very nice block on that in combination with Marshall Yanda. That's exactly the hole that Alex hit. So everybody's kind of been concerned about James Hurst, but dude keeps going out and playing pretty well. When you don't notice an offensive tackle, that's usually good.
Well, the other thing too, Joe Flacco didn't get sacked at all. So, there were lots of questions about the offensive line, particularly Hurst and the Orlando Brown competition. They fared very well in week 1, so there's no reason to think that's going to change moving forward. So that's all the time we have for questions this week, but as always, sending your questions on social media using that hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day.